SimWorld Sports.
Happy Monday, SimWorld. We have some of the biggest action of the year. The SimWorld Regional Tournaments getting underway today. We've already seen Southeast advance over Miami, and Chicago, surprising three-point win over a strong Midwest Select side. But now we are in Brooklyn, the East region, and the marquee matchup of the day, New England going up against Washington. Of course, you know the two biggest stars on this team, Johnny Baldwin leading the New England squad, and for Washington, the #1 recruit in the nation. And there you see him on your screen, Cooper Kingy Cross, averaging more than a point a minute, over 32 per game. This should be some matchup. This is actually the third meeting of these teams this year. So far, Washington and their coach Myron Murray, also just seeing on your screen now, have won the opening two, but they were both close. And actually, in our last game, both Baldwin and Kingy Cross had over 40, as Washington came out 88-83 winners. I am Elava. I will be joined in the broadcast booth today by Marsh, and producing, and with me, as always, Ron Yell. Excited to get going here, and while we're getting the introductions done, let's talk a little bit. Southeast, led by Trey Turner, able to overcome Miami in the first game of the regional tournament, four-pack getting off today. And then following that, Chicago, Drake Harvell and LeGerald Carroll able to top Donald Ifedi and Midwest. Chicago coming out three-point winners. No knockouts here. All these games, these teams can survive, but these are big games, and particularly for a team like New England, 8-8 on the year, that hasn't won a title yet, doesn't own any silverware, would definitely be huge here at the end of the season to walk away with a little bit of hardware. There you see Alyssa Dodge, coach of New England, and she's over 500 with them, even though they're 8-8 overall. But since she's taken over, an improvement there, and we've seen a huge leap in performance by Johnny Baldwin. Let's see what we get as we're getting set to tip off here in Brooklyn. Marsh, are you here with us now?
I sure am. How you doing,
Hey,
Eric?
knew you were just settling in here during the introductions. Wanted to make sure we had you on board. Tip off is here. Big Malcolm Oliver squaring off against Keith Anthony. New England in the red, DC in the black, and we are underway in Brooklyn.
This should be a good one. As you mentioned, the third time these two square off. It's differing styles, but two of the better head coaches, two of the more active head coaches in our league, and a good start already being aggressive here for New England.
Well, shooting foul called on Khalil Erickson. And that is going to send Stacy Van Arsdale to the line. Van Arsdale moved a little bit in and out of the starting lineup for New England over the course of the year, but senior from New York, averaging more than 10 points a game, and 86% from the line. Looks to open the scoring here.
I think for New England, the biggest thing is going to be a diversified attack, right? I mean, you can certainly go to Johnny Baldwin. He's been fantastic, 19.6, but I think for New England to pull this off, they're going to have to do a really good job of getting as much points from all their ancillary pieces as they can get. I mean, you're going to get a lot from Cooper Kingy Cross on the Washington side. Certainly, you could make the argument the goal is to slow him down, but no one's proven to be able to do that. So at this point, if you're New England, the key has to be we are just trying to put together as many points from other pieces as we can get.
Well, Baldwin did have one of his finest games of the year the last time they were matched up with DC. 42 points from Johnny Baldwin, but it ended up being he was only second best in the scoring department that day. Kingy Cross got 43, and more importantly, DC walked away a 5-point winner. Baldwin scored 28 in their first matchup as well, though he was held to just 3 rebounds in that contest. But New England here gets that bucket, and they're out to a quick 4-0 lead.
And it'll be interesting. I think that just with all the success that Cooper Kingy Cross has had, recently he's had some, let's call them struggling games in which he's scored a lot of points, but not necessarily efficiently. I think the key for him tonight is going to be scoring efficiently, because New England is just too well coached to be able to just be able to chuck up 35 shots to score 30 points.
Hard foul there from Maverick Jackson Jones. And that's going to send Keith Anthony to the line. He is the big man in the paint for DC, 6'9", 225-pounder out of Baltimore. He will be joining Kingy Cross at Maryland next year. Pretty excited at College Park to have both Kingy Cross and Anthony become Terps, at least for one season. We'll see how long.
Well, Anthony is really kind of come on late to the season, unranked until he just started to show up as a defensive stopper later on in the year. And he's 25 in the country. I think that might be a high ranking for him, but I think he comes in and he plays the game soundly on the defensive end. He doesn't have the playmaking chops of Draymond Green, but he has that versatility on the defensive end that you need out of your forward or your center.
He's definitely a good defender, and this is a DC team without a ton of size and height down low, but Anthony manning the post down there, and he averages over 1 block and 1 steal per game. Ooh. And DC able to tie it up. Hit the corner jumper down the other end, and we're all locked up at 4 early on. Marsh, wanted to ask you too. I'm surprised. Chicago, not that I don't rate Chicago, and I saw them play very well in their tune-up game against Toronto just over the weekend as well, but have them take out Midwest like that, particularly as well as Donald Affetti and the rest of that team has been playing. Surprising result to kick off action in the Central region.
Well, I think it's surprising if you look at Midwest and I think they are, as being. I think it's surprising if you don't appreciate what Chicago has done. Chicago has been a very up and down team throughout the season, and you don't quite know what you're going to get out of them on any given night, but you have pieces on that team with, especially with Gerald Carroll, where it can just be electric on both ends of the floor. And they were that tonight. So if you get that positive version of Chicago, the version that's made, I think, 2 or 3 tournament championship games, they're tough to beat. They actually put it together. It's just a matter they haven't really done a good job of closing out tournaments.
Yeah, Chicago has been in 2 championship games. No banners yet, though. Steal for DC, but they're not able to convert on the other end. And neither team particularly efficient shooting or scoring at this point. Oh, loose ball, but New England able to hold on to it. MJJ has it. Jackson Jones, and he's going to drive, but can't score. Another missed shot.
That's not a great take to the paint if you're Jackson Jones, but there's also great interior presence. That's what Keith Anthony does such a great job of. And
oh, there he is. Anthony shows up there on the offensive end, gets the rebound, stuffs it back through off the Kingy Cross miss. Ooh. The other end, quickly evening things back up, or extending New England's lead by 2.
I think New England is playing a unique approach. They're not afraid to run the floor, and against Cooper Kingy Cross, that can be a dangerous proposition. But that being said, this is. Just wait for the possession, and this is a 2-point lead for New England because Cooper Kingy Cross is taking and not connecting on a lot of very contested jumpers right now.
Yeah, well, I've noticed too that New England seems to be rotating Maverick Jackson Jones over to cover him. Maybe using Jones's size at 6'3", 200 pounds. Skilled defender, MJJ. Caused some problems for Kingy Cross. Oh, and a 3 down at this end. Man, Arsdale opens up a 5-point lead for New England. Quick timeout called by Myron Murray, coach of DC. Wants to talk this over with his squad. We're going to take a quick break as well. 11-6, a little bit more than halfway through the first quarter here in Brooklyn in the East Region. 3:39 to go, first quarter. New England worked their way out to a quick 4-0 lead, and with that three-pointer from Stacey Van Arsdale, extended it to 5. Early going here. Cupertini Cross just 2 points so far. And 3 there will not go. Noah Ellington, the big man, can hit from out there, but couldn't get that one down for DC.
Good steal.
Nice steal.
What I was going to say is we're
Yeah,
seeing a good defensive approach right now from DC, although a tough break down there on the alley-oop. But they are really saying, if Cupertini Cross is going to score 30 points, which he averages 32, he's going to do it on 32 shots. He's going to do it on 35 shots. He's going to have to take a ton of shots if he's going to get there, and we'll live with that outcome. And so far, it's worked for him.
Inside, but now the shot clock running down, time running out. Jumper will go, however. Nice shot there. Ian Bridgman gets it to go.
That's what we said. I mean, if you're New England, you have to win with your pieces that you don't typically win with. There's a fantastic step back jumper there. Was that Andre West, excuse me?
I believe that was Andre West, yes.
That's how you are trying to win a game against DC. You're not going to win it because Johnny Baldwin goes toe-to-toe. You win it because guys like Andre West score 7 points instead of their average 5. When average Jackson Jones scores 12 instead of his 8.8.
Andre West, a couple nice buckets off the bench. He only averages 4.8 a game, but West Connecticut's Mr. Basketball and Mr. Do-It-All, Johnny Ballgame, rose to the occasion there.
You could see that. You could see that one coming, Eric. You saw it just like the wind-up from Andrew Wiggins last night. You could see that wind-up coming. My goodness.
I like the comp. So if you're DC coach Myron Murray, you have to be a little unnerved. Your team not hitting shots. There was a tough one. Tried again. Bridgman couldn't get that to go. And down on this end. He won't go. Offensive rebound. Second chance, New England. Robert Golovin has it. Reserve guard from Rochester is going to take the jumper. Can't get it to go, but look who is there once again. Baldwin with the rebound. Puts it back up and in.
I mean, that was a more contested and more difficult look than he probably needed to make it.
Well, that's the thing is that, I was impressed. He wanted to show off for the scouts out there. A little bit more degree of difficulty on that. Made it harder on himself, but the bottom line is that New England is up by double digits, less than a minute to go first quarter. Let's take a quick break, wrap up this opening period when we return here to Brooklyn. a minute to play. Myron Murray trying to get his DC team fired up and in the game here. 6 points scored so far by Keith Anthony. We go with 5 rebounds. He's been the one shining element for DC so far here, but Cooper King Cross only 2, and nobody else has scored for Washington yet.
And what, 8 and 5 for Johnny Baldwin on
that is correct. 8 points, 5 rebounds for Johnny Ballgame. And another missed DC shot. Chance for New England to extend this lead some more.
Oh, that is a pretty look, just unable to finish.
Second chance. Tipped around. Out of bounds. Ooh, it's going to go over DC's way, though. I wasn't sure who touched that last, but I guess it was Damian Perdue. Knocked it out of bounds. Should mention, too, that there is a strong contingent on this New England team that's going to be UConn Huskies next year. Andre West, Damian Perdue, and starting center Malcolm Oliver, the 7-footer, are all going to be taking their talents to Storrs, Connecticut.
I mean, this is it should serve as a pipeline. If you're UConn, you want to try to get back into contention in the NCAA, you need to do it with the talent in New England and not necessarily just on New England Select.
Final seconds here after Archer Baldwin, the reserve guard, was able to get that shot there for DC, pulled him back to single digits. 3 on the way, won't go. Rebounded by DC, and they're able to bring this lead down to 9 at least after the end of one quarter, but impressive start to things for Coach Dodge and New England come back. Let's see if they can keep it up over the next 8 minutes. All right, we're about to get the second quarter underway here. Surprised fans who took the Amtrak Metro liner up from DC to New York today did not expect to see their team trailing by 9, and King Cross with just a single bucket. Only 3 shots attempted in that first quarter, too.
Amtrak, the slowest high-speed train known to man.
Brandon Smith in the corner can't get it to go. DC just struggling all around the shoot on 20%. And meanwhile, there is a 3 for New England. Their lead now is 12. King Cross out there looking to get them back into it. Going to take this jumper and can't get it to go.
That is the most open shot King Cross has had all season, as McLaughlin called for the foul here. Excuse me, all game, rather, not all season, but that's a testament to what New England is doing. They're doing a fantastic job of making him work for every single shot that he's trying to take.
Well, that's going to send Taylor Rankin to the line, 6'4" senior out of Buffalo. Averages just 1.4 a game for this New England squad, but is a good free throw shooter, 88% on the year. Look pretty pure there. Well, Marsh, I mean, is it... I like to get your analysis. I know you're a student of the game. Based on what you're seeing out here, is it Washington's fault that they can't get going, or is New England shutting them down? Or maybe it's a mixture of the two.
I think that I mean, if you look at the Washington shot attempts, almost I think everybody on their roster that's played has taken a shot, and that is what New England wants. They
Right.
want the ball out of King Cross's hands. So I think that it's credit to what New England's defensive approach has been on King Cross to say, if you're going to take a shot, it's not going to be open, and we're going to say if Khalid Erickson like this wants to take and make that, that's a bucket that we're going to live with. Khalil, excuse me. 45% shooter, take the shot. It's just not going to be Cooper King Cross, excuse me. And I think that they're doing it. That's why we're seeing such success.
And then for New
Three
England,
shots right now for King Cross.
yeah,
4 now after the one that he missed earlier in the
four,
fourth.
1 for 4 so far. Has the ball. Oh,
There's
gets
2
around
for
his
5.
defender there and gets right to the rack. And that, I mean, obviously Cooper King Cross, good outside shooter, shooting 40% from 3. But that's really kind of what I think just you know, is the spine of his game right there, is attacking the basket, getting easy buckets. I think that opens up everything else that he does in terms of being a 3-level scorer.
Yeah, I mean, his ability to attack the paint is what opens up his ability to score outside. Now, he's scored 2 in a row, and I think we've seen a little bit different. We're seeing Eric Nelson handling him as the primary defender, but there's no secondary support behind Nelson without, I don't believe Baldwin is out there. I think it's just Malcolm Oliver in the paint.
Yep. Nope, some reserves out there right now.
And so that is a huge difference because Baldwin, while he might not be a Keith Anthony-esque defender, he's still 6'9", 220, does average 0.8 blocks per game. He's still very good as a interior threat. Without both of them in there, there's just not as much concern. I mean, you've got right now Maverick Jackson Jones was in at the 4, and he's 6'3". That's a huge 6 inches of lost height in the paint that allows King Cross to get into the heart of the defense the last 2 possessions.
Meanwhile, we've got Washington's number 2 offensive threat at the line, Dante Walker, averaging more than 10 points a game and gets both his free throws here. Walker still yet to miss a free throw in SimWorld action so far. Now Stacey Van Arsdale running the show for New England. Oh, and he's going to take it himself. Backs up for a 3, but it rattles out. Chance for DC to cut it back down to 10 here, or further with a 3-point conversion or 3-point shot, and King Cross can't get it to go once again.
You know, regardless of if he makes that, I almost think DC needs a timeout here just to get their starters back in. Oh my goodness.
Where did that come from? Just a junior, Maverick Jackson Jones. You know, he was ranked as high as 10th in the junior class to start this season, but it's fallen out since, but has a nice all-around game. Reminds me of River Rose in some ways, and there, flashing a 3. And Cross showing some of the outside range.
I do think you need a timeout here. Get your 5 back. They'll get lucky that Washington calls it after a nice contested bucket from Van Arsdale, but DC is starting to catch fire, and CKC especially. New England, you got to get your starters back out there. What was actually deterring him?
Stacey Van Arsdale playing well so far in this one, averaging 10.1 points a game, shooting 50% from the field, and as you said there, that was a contested jumper he just buried, and he's hit a few of those tonight already. Definitely a talented New England team, a little bit of an enigma as to why they've struggled so much this year, right at 500.
We talked about it in terms of the keys for New England's victory, if they're going to get one tonight, was you needed other pieces besides Johnny Baldwin to step up, play well. So far, that's happening. Van Arsdale has had a good quarter. We got good buckets from Andre West in the first. You need to get guys to score about 2 to 4 points more than their average to get into range of upsetting Washington.
Meanwhile, for Washington, their MVP so far would have to be the big man, Keith Anthony. Put one up and in down at the other end, but at this end, that is big Malcolm Oliver, the 7-footer from Boston, mentioned earlier. He's going to UConn. Oliver averages just under 6 points a game. More than 9 boards. Oh, Kingy Cross, just too quick.
So Washington's doing a better job as well. This shouldn't just be credit for New England not having Johnny Baldwin out there, which, by the way, they should. He hasn't played in the last couple minutes, and they're getting torched inside. But Washington is got a couple more shooters on the floor, and a fantastic take by Van Arsdale.
That's Van Arsdale once again. A nice job from Eric Nelson, the junior point guard, to find him down there. Nelson's done a nice job for New England on the offensive end, but as we're seeing yet again, Cooper Kingy Cross just knows that he can take him at will.
Well, yeah, he came into the quarter with 2 points, I think.
That's correct.
He's up to 9
yes.
In the quarter.
And he still can't hit from outside. He made a 3, but
11 in the quarter. Math isn't always my strong suit. I think you've got to get Johnny Baldwin back out there because it matters so much for your DC or for your New England defense. I think he's finally coming to the score table.
I like this aggressive play I'm seeing from Stacey Van Arsdale tonight. Already in the first half. More shots, more moves, more demanding the ball than I normally think to see from him. And Kingy Cross, once again, just not finding the range.
New England hasn't called a timeout in this game. I do think they need to.
Oh. Well, Malcolm Oliver has just made this a 15-point lead for New England. I guess Coach Dodge figures don't interrupt a good thing.
Well, it's impressive that they've stayed ahead despite this onslaught from Kingy Cross, and they've done it by using Oliver, getting him to the paint, as you saw by the 8 points. It's just that if you're New England, you can't really afford to go bucket for bucket, even with a 13-point lead.
There we get a timeout from Coach Dodds. Alyssa Dodge, 7-6 since taking over New England. She's above 500 with them. Right now it's a 13-point lead, 1:42 left to play in the first half. We're going to take a quick break too. Come right back after a short break. Got under 2 minutes to go here in a first half that has been dominated, somewhat surprisingly. A New England select. Only say surprisingly as Washington has won 2 titles already this year. 13-6 overall, and they lost their first 3 to open up SimWorld play. 13-3 since then. And rebound fought over, but DC comes away with it. Oh, quick shot, Smith, and he puts it in. Brandon Smith, 6'2" junior out of DC, shooting 39% from long range. Got a big one there.
And that bucket was created by a terrible shot attempt by Van Arsdale on the other end. He had a chance to get going, and he didn't.
Well, Johnny Baldwin back in the game and somehow got CKC switched on him and takes quick advantage of that to get in double digits. Johnny Baldwin. Smith has it again. He gets it in CKC's hands. Now Van Arsdale seeing what he can do against him. Oh, and ball on the floor. CKC able to come up with it though. Smith gonna try another jumper. This one won't go. And Kingy Cross's putback attempt won't go either.
That was a rebound over the top of nice take of Johnny Baldwin.
Van Arsdale working his way towards a career high in points if he keeps this up. He extends New England back out to a 14-point advantage. King Cross is going to dribble this down, try to take a last-second shot. There is 2 seconds difference between the game shot and shot clock. Oh, he's going to take it and drain it. Oh, boy. Well, still trailing heavily, but something of a statement jumper, I would say there, from Cooper King and Cross. 11-point lead for New England. We're going to go to halftime. Come right back, though. Second half action coming up. Let's see if DC and CKC can get back in this thing. All right, we got halftime wrapped up, getting ready to kick off the second half here. New England out to that quick 4-0 lead, made it 11-6, and extended it to double digits. It was as high as 14 at one point, and they still lead by 11. And Cooper King Cross, leading scorer for DC, leading scorer in the game. No surprise, both of those things, but is struggling with his shot. Couldn't get that one to go, but Maverick Jackson Jones turns it over down on the other end.
I think we have some reporting from Ron Yell on the on some halftime adjustments.
Ooh, well, I was like getting Ron Yell in here. Ron Yell, what do you have for us?
Yeah, I had a moment to speak with Coach Myron Murray, coach of the Washington Stars. He said the adjustment we'll see here is he knows Johnny Ball when they get going here in the second half is that we may see Anthony get the assignment guard Johnny Baldwin. I personally think he needs to figure out how to get his offense going, but he definitely has a defensive strategy set aside for Johnny Baldwin. Back to you guys.
Oh. The other New England big man, nice job down there on the offensive end, Malcolm Oliver, able to get the score.
You know, it's an interesting decision to put Anthony on Johnny Baldwin. I think as a three rattles home, the key that makes Keith Anthony so dangerous is that he's able to play both inside and outside. And the issue by putting him on Baldwin is you start having the capability to get somebody like Malcolm Oliver. And it's a similar point as a nice dunk there we talked about earlier. If New England's going to win, they need to do it because guys like Malcolm Oliver score 10, 11 points. They don't have to explode, but it's just not 20 from Baldwin. That's where they're going to win. And so far, Oliver's played exceptionally well.
Oh, Baldwin gets another bucket right there. 2 buckets in a row for him. Anthony was able to score down on the other end, but so far, just trading back and forth here. Timeout on the floor. We're going to take a quick break as well. 6:14 remaining. Third quarter when we return. Point New England lead. And a pretty impressive night from them all around tonight. Johnny Baldwin, he actually sat for the majority of that second quarter. New England just built the lead anyway. Comes out here second half, a couple quick buckets, looking good. But Keith Anthony as well, shaking free underneath. I don't know if that's Malcolm Oliver losing him or Baldwin or miscommunication somewhere on the New England side.
It's good. It's good defense. Or excuse me, good pick and roll offense is what that is. Maverick Jackson Jones rattles one home. But if you're New England and you look over and you say, oh, Keith Anthony, he gets 12 points, it's a win. Mm-hmm. That's a win. If these are the shots you get from Cooper Kingy Cross, off a screen, pull-up jumpers, I'm okay with that. I am okay with that if I'm New England. I will live with 12 points in 14 minutes from Keith Anthony.
Second shooting foul. Jeremiah McLaughlin. McLaughlin, the defensive stopper. The DC squad, 6'4", 210-pounder out of Cherry Hill, but sends Stacey Van Arsdale back to the line where he's already 2 for 2 today.
Well, we talked about
that. Oh, go ahead. Take it, Marsh.
Just Van Arsdale, as you mentioned, those score numbers and the career high is 18, which is attainable for him. All of this is part of why New England has a 14-point lead at the moment, because they're getting incredible production from guys make it 15 that are scoring well above their average. That's where you beat New England where you beat Washington in a game of superstars of Kingy Cross and Johnny Baldwin.
Kingy Cross is able to shake free there, drive to the rack, get 2. Yells, you have more for us from the sidelines?
That I do. Coach Dodge, in preparation for a CKC explosion, which may be possible, has told her team that she does not want to see CKC, Cooper Kingy Cross, that man with the ball right now, have an inch of daylight on the offensive end. So look to see him.
2-on-1 down this end, and Baldwin can finish it over Anthony. Impressive athletic move from Johnny Baldwin, the 6'9", 220-pounder out of East Rutherford, New Jersey. One of the Giants and Jets, as well as the New Jersey Devils, East Rutherford, and Baldwin comes up with that ball after it had been blocked. And yeah, there you see Kingy Cross's scoreline, an impressive 20 points, and 9 for 19 from the floor doesn't sound bad, but he's not more efficient than that. DC is going to have a terrible time trying to get back into this game.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that we've almost gotten lost in the Kingy Cross extravaganza. He's going to have games like that, and he's going to make plays like that, and he's going to score 22 points. But he's also going to have games where he scores 22 points on 29 shots instead of 20 shots. He's going to have games where he's less efficient because of his ability to take over. And I think that you would like to see him find a way in the long run to be more dangerous off the ball. And that's not his fault because of the pieces that he has here. And he's certainly a talented passer, which was a great assist to the corner.
Yeah, Dante Walker finishes, but nice pass for CKC there.
But you do want him to become capable of not being the only guy with the ball. There's a reason that no players with high usage rates in the NBA win championships, and only 2 of them have made the Western Conference Finals.
14-point New England advantage. Oliver gets set to inbound again here. New England ball.
To wrap that up real quick, we're seeing that a little bit. We've seen it in 2018. We're seeing it right now in the Western Conference Finals with Luka and with James Harden. They're the only 2 players with extremely high usage rates at the rate at which they are to make the Western Conference Finals, or their conference finals. No one has ever made it to the NBA Finals, obviously all the stats comes post 1978-79 when those figures were being tracked. But that's the concern with Kingy Cross, and I think when DC has been exposed, as they have been through the first 2.5 quarters here, is when you say our offense is Kingy Cross and Kingy Cross only, and that could be troublesome.
Well, we've been talking a lot about CKC here, folks. How about Johnny Baldwin? I mean, Baldwin has had some spectacular nights already this season, including in the most recent loss that New England had to this DC team, where he put up 42. But for just pure efficiency and dominating the paint, I am impressed with what I have seen from Mr. Baldwin out here tonight. The reason why this double-digit lead for New England just won't go away.
Yeah,
in spite of Kingy Cross's efforts.
Look at that! He is doing a phenomenal job of going toe-to-toe, and they're getting into the paint, New England and Johnny Baldwin, and scoring at will. This is exemplified by their 65% shooting.
Baldwin able to come up with that rebound and quickly gets it up the other way. Shot won't go, and Oliver can't come up with the second chance opportunity.
If you want to ask, how can DC getting 25 points now, I think it is, from King Cross and be down by 13, it's because they have been anemic inside. Keith Anthony especially. You put Keith Anthony, as Roniel reported, on Johnny Baldwin. Johnny Baldwin should be scoring if that's an elite defender that we claim Keith Anthony to be. Keith Anthony is cooking.
Shot clock winding down here. Good defense by DC on this possession. Desperation jumper won't go, and we're down to a minute to play. Still a 13-point New England lead. Well, for a moment, yep, now that 3 won't go. Marsh, I think it's kind of interesting, for New England, as Baldwin gets loose and finishes again. This is a big possible revenge game.
Hold on. 18 in the third quarter alone there.
Well, he barely played in the second quarter. Points per minute.
After they put Keith Anthony, arguably the best defensive big in the country, on it, Johnny Baldwin went out and scored 18 points.
Baldwin's performance tonight, you could call Kingy Cross-esque in that he is on or over more than a point a minute production, and add some more, big man.
He is
Keith Anthony. I think it's a lateral quickness issue. I'm just not sure that he has the athleticism quite to stay with Baldwin down there.
This is an exposure of Keith Anthony. Anthony, for the stretch that got him into the top 50, and as high as now 25, he had a stretch where he went up against New York, he went up against Mid-Atlantic, and he played against some of these big-name bigs. He's playing a big-name big in Johnny Ballgame. Ballgame's in.
14-point New England lead as we go to the fourth quarter. But remember, folks, in their last game, New England had a double-digit lead, and they blew it in their fourth quarter to DC. Still a lot of basketball to be played here. Got some numbers to throw at you. 8 minutes to play. 27 for Cooper Kingy Cross, but a game-high 30 for the man with the ball. Johnny Baldwin matching the number on his uniform right now. 30 points, 11 rebounds, already a double-double. He wants more. He gets more. Just that easy.
Again, I thought Keith Anthony was supposed to be a defensive stopper. That's what we were talking about with him. And now I'm not saying that I wasn't a part of that talking about. We thought he was. He has not played like that tonight. He has been exposed on the biggest stage of the season.
And Cross can't get that bucket to go, and with 16 points being the margin, it's even with 7 minutes left to play, we are getting up on the point where this team needs some defensive stops. And
well, the other thing on Johnny Baldwin that we've seen tonight is that he is doing a phenomenal job of not remaining stationary. And that's what's beating Keith Anthony. Keith Anthony has not been as attentive of an off-ball defender as we're used to seeing from him. I mean, that last possession, there was nothing that Johnny Baldwin did except cut back court or back behind Keith Anthony, get wide open. That's all he's doing is freeing himself up off ball. He's not just waiting for a pass and trying to go one-on-one.
DC can't score there, and now everybody getting in on it. Eric Nelson driving to the hoop and getting a bucket. 34 points now. Ooh, there's a nice shot, goes down. 34 points, I was going to say, for big Johnny Baldwin. Perhaps most impressively, he has missed one shot the entire night.
It was a 3. It was a 3, and I actually think it was a late, half court. I mean, it wasn't even a 3.
20-point advantage. New England, less than 6 minutes here, and for a DC team that came into today, winning 13 of their last 16 games and 5 in a row, 2 banners in the trophy case at home. This is a pretty shocking result.
And I'll cover this by saying, Eric, remind our viewers at home how the regional tournament worked. Cover meaning I don't have the answer either. To advance. Are we doing the same type of round robin approach that we've done in our regular season tournaments?
Roniel, my producer, you want to give people the lowdown?
Yes, I will, Eric. It is a round robin tournament. And it will come down to, if there are any ties or anything of that nature, it will come down to head-to-head matchups. If it's still, oh my God!
Dunk contest just started.
Yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, if it comes down to anything else, it will come down to points, point total. But it is round robin, just ahead of the national tournament, which will be elimination style.
That's national tournament takes the winner of each region.
Oh, the national tournament? Are you forgetting? That is a 24-game, 24-team tournament, sir. This tournament is helping to establish the seeding for the national tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there you just saw the stat line for Johnny Baldwin down there. 19 of 20. He's missed that 3-point heave we were talking about earlier, but otherwise has made absolutely everything. And granted, other times just getting loose down low. JJ gonna take a jumper, won't go. Oh, 24 points, under 4 minutes to play. I don't think even talents of Cooper Kingy Cross are enough to bring DC back in this one. Shocking defeat for DC, but a nice big win, and that's a great foul there even. We're going to take a quick break before we get to the free throws, though. 24-point advantage for New England when we return. A little more than halfway through this final quarter, and pretty much you can go ahead and put this one in the books, folks. New England, in impressive style, is going to win their opening East Region matchup. For Washington, be shocking. May result in some soul-searching loss. DC. The craziest thing, Johnny Baldwin, still out there right now, but basically got an entire quarter off in the first half. He's flirting with 40 points.
I mean, it kind of shows when he had the, what was it, 42 back in their previous matchup.
Defeat DC, yeah.
But it wasn't a fluke. No, it shows that if you're New England, and granted this gets you closer to a regional championship, which is, okay, awesome. But everyone wants a national championship. But I think this shows a roadmap for New England to say, look, we are capable of winning against the best teams, especially against a team like DC, who has been kind of considered 1A or 1B to New York.
Well, there is one of the few rare mistakes that Baldwin has made all night. Turns the ball over. A three on the way from DC. Will not go, however. MJJ pulls it down. And here comes Eric Nelson.
I don't know if this changes much in terms of either of these teams. You know, you try not to take one game too serious in either direction. You know, like the NBA example. Golden State lost by 55. They're one win from the NBA. We don't suddenly think that Memphis was better than them, nor do we not think that they're capable of winning an NBA championship, because they're, again, a game away from the finals. And I think the same should be held true here. This is a great win for New England. This has proven their concept that they should be more considered as a team that can contend for a championship. This doesn't mean Cooper King Cross and DC aren't just as good. It's just that tonight they were unable to slow down Johnny Baldwin. None of the side pieces to Cooper King and Cross were able to get going.
Well, as New England hits 90, let's make sure to shine a little love on Coach Alyssa Dodge. I think part of the turnaround of New England and Johnny Baldwin, I was just thinking about this, Marsh. I mean, not like he wasn't always a highly ranked and obviously skilled player, but to some degree, Johnny Baldwin might be your most improved player over the course of the SimWorld season. I mean, looking at how he played opening games versus how he's been playing recently, which is absolutely dominant. Should note, too, that, you know, Baldwin does this playing a 4 position, playing a power forward, basically, which just makes him a little bit different from Jamison Johnson, your more kind of traditional, you're a 5 in the pivot kind of guy, or Cody Johnson, who we'll be seeing in our next game coming up when Pacific Northwest takes on LA a half hour after this one ends. We move things out to LA for the West Regional, but Johnny Baldwin, over the last month of this season, I'm not sure if anybody has been better than him just over that period of time. Rebounding, scoring, really, you know, I mean, just a, you know, also really fluid within this offense, I think. It's not as if he's slowing things down or, you know, the ball goes to him and then it disappears, nobody else ever touches it. He's a team player. Bottom line, I'm impressed with Johnny Baldwin, and I'm impressed with Coach Dodge getting the best out of him.
It's been a, you know, I think there's a lot of guys that you could mention as most improved. I think guys like Chance Milton-Jones fall into that category.
In that conversation too. Yep.
You're not wrong though. I mean, he's taken a New England team that before the season and early on in the season, I don't know how many would have expected them to be in the situation they are right now with a statement win late in the year. But so long as Baldwin gets going, they've got a legitimate shot as he gets 2 rebounds. Excuse me, that was Malcolm Oliver again. 2
That was
rebounds.
Malcolm Oliver, but it ended up with a 3-pointer missed by Everett Jackson-Jones. And bad news for some out there who were waiting for one SimWorld high school team to hit the century mark in regulation. Looks like we're going to come up a little bit short here tonight, but Doesn't matter. Impressive performance. Congratulations, New England, Coach Dodge, Stacey Van Arsdale, Maverick Jackson Jones, Malcolm Oliver, and of course, your game MVP, Johnny Baldwin. This one's over. Reminder, in 30 minutes, we're going to be back here, and we're going to have Pacific Northwest, DJ Childs, and Cody Johnson take it on Jalen Snow in Los Angeles in LA. Don't want to miss that. Come back, folks. We'll be here too.